We're going to build a mitered frame out of 1-inch angle iron. I'm going to measure a rough length here for my frame pieces. Here I'm going to use a combination square to mark my 45-degree angles for my miters. The most common mistake I have is students forget how to mark the opposite miter. So you just flip the combination square and you mark it at your measurement. We're using a cutoff wheel on an angle grinder to cut our miters. I'm just scoring the line first, and then I will do my cut here. Always check your miters after you cut them, see if they need to be touched up. Here I'm measuring the length so I know where my miter is going to start on the opposite side. And then just repeat that process for all 4 pieces. Okay, let's walk over to the grinder and do some cleanup. I'm going to check my corners and make sure that they're all square and 45. And then make any adjustments on the grinder as needed. I have all 4 pieces cleaned up, and now we're going to go lay them out and see how they fit. Before I put all 4 pieces together in a frame, I want to match up the opposite sides and make sure that they are equal. Everything looks good, so we are going to go head to the welder. I'm going to open up the argon and carbon dioxide tank. It said it's 22 pounds. We're going to turn our ventilation on. And now we're going to adjust the welder. Adjust the voltage, wire speed. And we're going to trim our wire so that we have about a 1/4 inch of stick out. And then we're going to dip the nozzle so that we don't have any spatter that sticks to the nozzle. Just a couple of light dips in there so you get a little bit on there. Make sure you have your welding helmet, your gloves, and your jacket. I'm I'm using a magnet here to make sure that my pieces are at 90 degrees for the first corner. I'm going to attach the ground clamp directly to my workpiece since I have it sitting on this piece of plywood, and the plywood is to make sure it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to do a small tack weld to make sure that my corner is 90 degrees. This will allow me to make any adjustments if my corners are not perfectly 90 degrees. Just going to make a small adjustment there by putting a little pressure on it and flexing it out to 90 degrees. Always double check. Now that I know it's exactly 90 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and run a bead on the inside. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the other half of the frame. Now you can go one piece at a time and just keep adding on. For this video, I decided to just do 2 halves. It doesn't really matter. Okay, both halves are at 90, and now I am going to put the 2 halves together and run my beads on them. I'm going to weld these two and check one more time for 90, and we're done.